Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar and this is Big Discussions 76, my original channel. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Well, we are just about done with the historic year that has been 2020, and there is one day left before we step into 2021. And what's interesting is that for this topic, there are so many things that are being speculated on, and there are so many things being talked about. I wonder economically and financially what the world is going to look like as we go forward into 2021 and beyond. But assuming there will still be people working, and assuming there will still be people earned income, this is still a relevant topic, and it will still be a relevant topic going forward. I want to thank everyone who has supported the live streams. The last two live streams were very successful in terms of viewership and participation. One of them had to do with politics and culture, and the other one had to do with, I'd say it was more in the dating and mating space. There are a number of conversations taking place here in specific sectors of the YouTube streets as it relates to the high value man discussion, and I'm realizing that with my own experiences and with my own journey, I think I have some unique perspectives and stories to add to that discussion. And there are some more things that I intend to add to that discussion. And I want to thank all of the other content creators who have come over to this channel and who have helped me flesh out my own take and my own message and my own narrative on those stories. And I look forward to collaborating some more. But as you know, this channel right now is a lot about thinking. It's about general topics, and a major component or a major area of focus on this channel is money. And let's see, I think one of the last pre-records that I uploaded involved the whole six figures argument. And the six figures argument, or should I say the six figures discussion, has been a part of the whole high value man discussion. And so it's something that hits close to home for me in my life, and I want to flesh out some more points about the whole six figures discussion. And in this discussion right here, I want to talk about retirement savings. And I'm not going to make this long, or should I say my intention is not to make this long, because I wrote a blog post on it on my blogging platform, the Big Words blog site, and I'm going to leave that in the description box below this video. But I want to call something to everyone's attention based upon something I experienced over the summertime and into the winter time. First, I'm going to call, when it comes to money and finance and investing and economics, I refer to the Rich Dad books quite a bit. I refer to Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University quite a bit. I refer to also the Millionaire Next Door series, and I think that those are good books to read, and those are good materials to study just to get your feet wet if you're unfamiliar with them. But I'm going to focus us back to the Rich Dad Poor Dad series. And if you're unfamiliar with the concept of retiring, I talk about it a little bit in my blog post and Robert Kiyosaki, who's pretty bullish on Bitcoin these days, wrote some very, very good information about what retirement is, what defined benefit plans were, and how we transitioned over to defined contribution plans. He's written a lot about that, and I learned a lot about that. And so one of the things you need to think about when you think about this whole six figures discussion is that if you're earning your six figures as an employee, one of the things you have to think about is how you're going to retire. If your plan is to be an employee up until your working days are over. If you haven't, I recommend you read The Cash Flow Quadrant. I recommend you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I recommend you read The Cash Flow Quadrant. I think Erica Williams, in her content, I think she recommended The Cash Flow Quadrant as well. There are people who are making money in ways other than being employees, and I think that book gives you a nice worldview about how people make their money in our current capitalist / socialist society, because the United States is actually, as it's currently composed and constructed, is a mixture of the two. There's always a lot of talk about not wanting to turn into a socialist economy, but the truth is, if you look on Investopedia, we are a mixture of the two. But in any case, what I want to say in this video, and what I want to add to this whole high value and six figures discussion, is retirement savings. So if you're being smart about it, and if you are saving into your retirement savings, a part of your six figures salary, again, if you're doing this as an employee, but if you're doing this smart, a part of your six figures salary should be going into your retirement savings. I didn't understand retirement savings when I first started my federal career. I didn't understand the TSP system, which is the system that federal employees use for their retirement savings. I didn't understand that. I learned about it gradually. I will credit one of my exes for giving me the initial kick in the rear in terms of getting my government TSP started. And then there were other mentors and individuals along the way who said that if you're not retiring, if you're not contributing to get your matching contribution, you're leaving money on the table. That's in my blog post below. But a couple of months ago, my financial team, who I'll just anonymously say are one of my mentors and his son, they yanked my coat and said, the IRS is allowing a maximum of $19,500 to be contributed to your retirement savings. So, and that doesn't include the matching contribution from your employer. So they said, okay, well, you need to figure out as an employee how to save or how to increase your retirement savings to $19,500. Okay. So what does that mean in layman's terms? That means that out of your six figures, and there's a difference, and I mentioned this in the last video, there's a difference between making $100,000 and $999,999. So there's low six figures, and then there's high six figures. Okay. And there are considerations for both, and then there's somewhere in between. But if you're making low six figures and you're contributing the max to your retirement savings, which is right now $19,500, well, subtract that from your $100,000 if you're down on the lower end. That means now you have about $80,000 left Now you have about $80,000 left to live on, to pay taxes out of, and to pay your housing payment, and to pay for your transportation, your food, your shelter, etc., and any other luxuries you want to spend on. That's now $80,000. You have to figure out where to allocate some discretionary investing out of that amount if you are interested in that. My point is, some people look at your six figures and say, okay, well, they're making six figures, they're living well, they should be winning, but oftentimes they're not considering how much money is coming out and going immediately into your retirement savings. Many people just see six figures and they think, okay, spend, spend, spend. Well, if you're being wise and prudent, that's not the case. If you make $120,000 and you're putting away that $19,500, well, now you have a little bit more wiggle room because you have roughly $100,000 left to pay taxes and to pay for your health insurance and your food and your housing and your shelter and your transportation and your clothing and your discretionary investing, or whatever it is you choose to do with it. But that's what I wanted to say. If you're being prudent about your retirement savings, you're not taking that entire six figures home. Now, obviously, the higher you go up in that six-figure scale, you're going to miss that $19,500 a lot less. But the closer you are to that bottom, the closer you are to that $100,000, you're going to miss that $19,500 a little bit more. But it's a wise investment. It's a conservative investment, and because we don't have as many pensions as we used to, you had better save something, and you'd better think about saving that $19,500 so that you have something to live off of when your working days are over. This is something you need to think about, when you go to get married. If you're doing it, is your potential spouse, or are they doing it? This is something you need to think about on top of, having children. How are you going to fit everything in? How are you going to live later? This is something you need to think about when one of your relatives comes and asks you for money. How are you still going to be able to execute your own financial plan when one of your relatives comes and asks you for help? I believe you have to position yourself to do all of these things, and you have to make sure, in the best case scenario, you have to make sure your house is protected and taken care of before you go doling out money to anyone else who wants it. I'm going to leave my we should have invested in Facebook and Bitcoin blog post below as well, because that talks about quote unquote positioning. All of this is positioning. It's knowing what to do and then positioning yourself to do it so that you're executing the plan as you go. If you haven't been doing this is going to sound like Greek, and it's going to take some work to get started on the front end, but 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, if your sole plan is to be an employee, then you will be glad that you started this thing now. There are people who are going to get to their later years and they're not going to have anything, and they're not going to know what to do, and they're not going to be able to live. And it's unfortunate if a person finds themselves in that situation. But I just wanted to say that about the six figures thing. This is something that came up in my family. This is even before the high value man discussion. there was an instance where one relative thought that I should have, because there was an instance where a relative thought that because I myself was making six figures, that I should be able to take X amount of money from my salary and put it into someone else's, another relative's investment, because that amount of money was just a drop in my bucket, quote unquote. It hurt me when this relative said it, number one, because of who it was who said it. But number two, it hurt me that I felt like I was being preyed upon in a way. And it hurt me that this particular person made assumptions about myself, my lifestyle, and what I earn. The person also said, well, you don't have a family to take care of. You don't have a wife and kids to take care of. That hurt me as well because, again, it felt like certain judgments were being passed and certain judgments were made. And I did tell this person, you have no right to tell me what I should do with my own income. And I did tell them that it hurt me that you said this about me. But when it comes to family, when it comes to friends, when it comes to people, money is a sensitive subject, and it hits us all kinds of ways. One of my mentors told me that we as Black people are socialists by nature. And so when one person makes something, or when one person earns something or builds something, by default it belongs to all of us. Or by default, the person who has something should help out and give to the others who don't. Even if those who don't have because of their own decision making. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to add some more onto this whole six figures thing, because people don't think about all the pieces and all the nuances that go into making six figures. There's a lot more to it than, okay, I make six figures, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I've made it. There are a lot of people who will have made six figures over their lifetimes, but once they get to their retirement age, or once they get to that point where they can't work anymore, they may not have anything. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry, let me slow down. That's all I wanted to say. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. I realize that money topics are not they're not always popular. Some of this information might be hard to hear if you haven't positioned yourself properly up to this point, but these things are important to know. These things are important to share because there's a ripple effect, and depending upon how you're positioning yourself, there will be doors open for you and there will be doors closed for you in multiple arenas. So I'm going to stop this here. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has supported this channel. I'm in the 700s now, which means that I'm roughly 200 and some odd subscribers away from 1,000. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. That's free. Please like this video, please share, and please subscribe. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.